students. I hope you have all gone through the various videos related to the two chapters which I have told you will be coming up for your pre-midterm examination. I'm not going to start any new videos. Very soon you will receive the PDF of the extra questions related to the two chapters, and basically these two chapters I will once again in short explain to you in one video itself, one chapter, so that you will get all the contents in one place itself. I'm not going to do too much of reading of it because I want you people to go through this particular reading part, because MCQ based pattern is there for your examination, and for that questions can come from anywhere, my dear students. It can be from between the chapters, any kind of statements with regard to any context, or can be from the questions, any kind of MCQs. So please, the most important thing is that you must be very thorough with the lesson. I'll tell in short all the paragraphs, but I would like you people to read everything, and if you're having any doubts, as I have already told you, you can you're having my WhatsApp number, and you can just WhatsApp to me that whatever doubts you are having between the time 9 to 3, and I will try to clear it off within that time period itself, your doubts, and no calls please. As I have told about this chapter, The Portrait of a Lady, the author's name is Khushwant Singh, and Khushwant Singh's autobiography it is, means he has written about the grand lady of his life, that is his grandmother. And in the first paragraph we have seen that it was difficult for him when he reached when he was a child and he started understanding the things little bit. It was difficult for him to believe that his grandmother could be beautiful, because from the time he had seen his grandmother to be very old, wrinkled. So the thought was little difficult for him to accept. And his grandfather, he looked terribly old. He had seen his portrait which was kept over the mantelpiece. I told you what is a mantelpiece. Mantelpiece means a place above the fireplace, okay. And his appearance seems to be like that of a 100-year-old man who can have lots of grandchildren but never a wife and children. And moreover, his grandmother, whenever she used to tell them about what she used to play in the childhood, he used to feel that they are like stories about the saints and all that she used to tell them during the bedtime. And then in the second paragraph we have seen the physical appearance of the old lady, and also a beautiful comparison of hers with the winter landscape of a mountain. It has been said that she is slightly bent, she is fat, and she is short also, and she moves about in the whole house limping, hobbling about with one hand over her bent back, means she is supporting her back, and the other hand is always telling the beads of her rosary. Her lips are continuously moving in inaudible prayer. Though she is not pretty, according to the author, he says that though she is not pretty, but she is very beautiful, and her beauty is the calmness and peace that is over her face, and because of that reason she looks so beautiful to him. And he has compared her with the winter landscape of the mountain, means in the winter time, if the mountain peaks are covered with ice caps, or that soothing effect that atmosphere gives to a soul, that is what it is being said over here. The contentment, the peace, the calmness, satisfaction, that makes her look beautiful. The next paragraph is about his time spent in village, where he considered them to be very good friends. From his childhood he was there because his parents went to city for earning purpose, and she used to wake him up in the morning, and she used to try to teach him prayers by singing the same prayer daily, and she used to give him bath, and she used to get his things prepared and tie them up in a bundle, and she used to give him stale chapati with butter, sugar, and rest of the stale chapatis they used to tie up for the village dogs. Then she used to take him to the school, and while he sit down. He sits in the school studying the scriptures and other things by the priest. She sits in the temple reading the scriptures. And while going back home, they used to feed the village dogs. Then a turning point, a change came in their life. Kushwan Singh's parents called him to uh, city. Along with the grandmother, not that the grandmother was left in the village, she was also called to the city. But in city, you know how the life is, no? She was not having any village dogs. So she found a replacement and she started feeding the sparrows. And when she started feeding the sparrows, there many other changes also came. For a few days, she woke him up in the morning, but she can't go to leave him in school because he goes in the motor bus. Then, when he used to come back from school, he used to tell her about all kind of teaching that was going on in the school. He was studying in an English medium school, so English teaching, science, principles, uh, theories, all those kind of things were there, which was difficult for that old lady. She could not help him in his studies. She was feeling very say left out type, or she felt very bad that she was not able to help him in his lessons. The worst part was that there was no teaching of God and scriptures. So she felt like the school teaching was not appropriate, was not perfect. Then the worst thing happened. He declared about the music lessons, and grandmother, she disapproved of it. She didn't say anything, but she was quiet. Her staying mum itself was like a sign of disapproval, because she was an old lady and she believed that singing song and all is not good for children of good house. It is meant for beggars, harlots, those people who earn from singing, dancing and all, for such kind of category. Then in the next this para, we people are seeing that he goes to the university. Then when he goes, he is given a separate room, and they had one common link still left between them, and that was the same room that also got snapped home. um, Now he was a grown up fellow, so she was given a separate room, and grandmother didn't say anything. She accepted this loneliness very quietly, and she started spending time in other things like sunrise to sunset. She'll sit down by the side of the spinning wheel and she will be spinning the wheel. Then she will be reciting the prayers. She will be telling the beads of her rosary. In the whole day, in the afternoon, for half an hour, she'll go and sit down in the veranda. And then thousands of sparrows, they will come there, and she will give them breadcrumbs. And it used to be the happiest half an hour in the afternoon for her. Then the next change came when author decided to go abroad for studies. He thought that maybe the grandmother will become a little sentimental, like, oh, I'm old, and if you go, how it will be, how I'll not be able to see you. 5 years is quite a long time, and all those kind of things. No? But she didn't say anything. Instead, she came to leave him to the railway station, and she bid him goodbye by kissing him on his forehead. He felt that maybe this is the last time I'm getting this physical touch from my grandmother. But old lady seems to be a very strong one. When after 5 years he came back, he found that grandmother was still there at the station to receive him. And when she hugged him, means when she took him in his arms, he could feel that her lips were still saying the prayers which were inaudible to other people. And that particular evening, when for the first time, that particular day, she gave the sparrows not only more time feeding them, but also she scolded them in between. Then in the evening, it was totally a changed grandmother. She collected the women of the neighborhood from don't know where, but she arranged one very old drum, totally ruined, and the skins were hanging out. And then she started thumping the drum and singing song of the homecoming of the warriors. Grandson came back from abroad. The family, they thought that she should not do all those things because old age, no, she will strain herself. But that was the first day. Most probably from the time he had seen her, she didn't pray. The next morning, as it was expected, because of overstraining, she fell sick. Fever it was, but doctor said that okay, she'll get all right. Grandmother had something else in her mind. She said that no, Her end is near and she had not said the prayer, so she don't want to talk to anyone. She asked them all to leave her alone and she want to say her prayers. She took the rosary in her hand and she started saying the prayer. Before the family was not in, you can say that they were not in the mood to leave her there saying the prayers. They wanted her to take rest. She didn't listen, she ignored them. Before they could understand anything, the rosary fell down from her hand. The grandmother was dead. She died. The last para, the most beautiful part. In the last para, they lifted her off from the bed, laid her on the ground, covered her with a red shroud. I told you what's the shroud, the cloth which is covered over the dead body. When her corpse was kept down, they sat down over there. A regular morning and all, means morning here doesn't mean MOR, it's MOURNING. They sat down, they cried, and then they left the body, and they had to prepare for the rituals for the cremation and all, no? For the burnings and all those things, rituals. Then they left, and then evening around, the time has not been mentioned. The sun was just setting down, so maybe around some 5:30 something like that it was. They came back and they were totally surprised and stood midway, because from where they were standing till the whole veranda to the room where the grandmother's dead body was laid down, full of sparrows. Thousands of sparrows were spread out over there. And not even a single sparrow was making any noise. Can you just imagine it? It's unbelievable. Thousands of sparrows are no chirping at all. But then it had happened like that. They all came to pay homage. The speechless creatures paid their homage by staying quiet. The mother of author, she brought the breadcrumbs thinking that maybe they came usual. But now it was not usual. They took no notice of the breadcrumbs. They sat down there very quietly. When the grandmother's corpse was taken, they flew away without eating a single bread. And the next morning, the sweeper, he swept all the breadcrumbs into the dustbin. My dear students, go through each and every part of the lesson very peacefully, carefully. If you don't get through this, your previous videos are there. Go through all the paragraphs, instances which are given over there carefully. Till I give you the next lessons reading, please take care of yourself.